The most inspirational Stoic stories from history. Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us how to live with strength, courage, and wisdom. Throughout history, many great men and women have shown the power of Stoic principles through their actions. Their stories inspire us to face challenges with calmness and resilience. Today, we will explore some of the most powerful Stoic stories from history. These tales remind us that no matter how difficult life becomes, we can always choose to respond with virtue and dignity. Let us begin with the story of Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers. He was born a slave in ancient Rome, with no freedom or power. His master, a cruel man named Epictetus, once twisted his leg for amusement. Epictetus remained calm and simply said, "If you keep doing that, you will break my leg." When his leg finally broke, Epictetus smiled and said, "I told you it would happen." Even in pain, he showed no anger or fear. Later, he gained his freedom and became a famous philosopher. He taught that true freedom comes from controlling our minds, not our circumstances. His life proved that even a slave can be freer than an emperor if he masters his thoughts. Another powerful story comes from the life of Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome. He ruled during one of the most difficult times in Roman history. Plagues, wars, and betrayals surrounded him. Yet, he never lost his composure. Every night he wrote in his journal, reminding himself to stay just, patient, and strong. One entry says, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I meet today will be ungrateful, arrogant, and unfair. But I will not be angry, because I understand that they do not know what is good." Despite his power, Marcus Aurelius lived simply, avoided luxury, and focused on duty. His book, Meditations, remains one of the greatest guides to living a Stoic life. Then there is the story of Cato the Younger, a man who stood against corruption even when it cost him everything. In Rome, many politicians took bribes and lied for power. But Cato refused. He believed in honesty and virtue above all else. When Julius Caesar wanted to become a dictator, Cato fought him with all his strength. Even when he knew he would lose, he never gave up. In his final moments after his side was defeated, he chose to take his own life rather than live under tyranny. Before he died, he read Plato's writings about the immortality of the soul. His enemies, including Caesar, respected him for his unbreakable spirit. Cato proved that standing for truth is more important than winning. The story of Seneca is another lesson in Stoic courage. He was a wise philosopher and advisor to Emperor Nero. But Nero was a cruel ruler who feared Seneca's influence. When Nero ordered Seneca to kill himself, Seneca accepted his fate without fear. He gathered his friends and spoke calmly about life and death. His wife wanted to die with him, but he told her to live and remember his teachings. Then he cut his veins and bled to death, staying composed until the end. Even in his final moments, Seneca showed that a Stoic does not fear death but faces it with peace. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, also lived by these principles. Before he became a philosopher, he was a wealthy merchant. One day his ship sank, and he lost everything. Instead of despairing, he went to Athens and studied philosophy. He said, "Fortune has done me a favor. By taking my riches, she has forced me to find true wealth, wisdom." From this hardship, Stoicism was born. Zeno's story teaches us that even disaster can lead to greatness if we face it with the right mindset. During World War II, Admiral James Stockdale was shot down over Vietnam and imprisoned for 7 years. He was tortured, kept in terrible conditions, and given no hope of release. But he survived by using Stoic philosophy. He later said, "I never lost faith that I would prevail in the end." He focused on what he could control, his own thoughts and actions. He encouraged other prisoners to stay strong. Some gave up, but Stockdale endured. His story shows that Stoicism works even in the darkest times. These stories remind us that Stoicism is not just words, it is a way of life. From slaves to emperors, from ancient times to modern war, Stoic principles have guided people through suffering. They teach us that pain is temporary, but our character is eternal. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. Think about your own life. What challenges do you face? How can you meet them with Stoic courage? Remember the lessons of Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, Cato, Seneca, Zeno, and Stockdale. They did not have easy lives, but they lived with honor. You too can find strength in Stoic wisdom. No matter what happens, you have the power to choose virtue over fear. That is the greatest lesson of all. So the next time life feels hard, remember these stories. Stand firm. Stay calm. Be brave. Like the Stoics before you, you are stronger than you think.